Hi, this is Gail. I'm teaching you chair yoga today. So let's get started. First off, I understand that the Beaumont MS Yoga virtual program involves physical activity which carries with it certain inherent risks. As a participant, I agree to assume all risk associated with this program and fully waive and release the National MS Society, its chapters, directors, officers, administrators, representatives and executors, past and present representatives and successors, and other persons from any and all claims, liability, or causes of action arising out of injury to me while participating. In addition, I take full responsibility for consulting a physician. I attest that if I am pregnant, disabled in any way, or have recently suffered an illness, injury, or impairment, I should have or did consult a physician prior to participating in the Society's physical activity program. All right, so now we've got that out of the way. Let's start with our chair yoga fitness. We'll need a strap and a chair. You don't need the strap if you don't have one, and you can do all the poses without it, but it just helps facilitate the pose a little bit different. All right, so let's get started in about 5 seconds. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hi, thanks for coming and joining us today. We're doing chair yoga today. And so let's get started with the breath. So we're going to place our hands on our abdomen, and let's make sure we're away from the back of the chair so we're engaging our tall posture muscles. Beautiful. All right, so let's breathe in through the nose and the belly expands. And then let's exhale through the nose. And again, breathing in, chest and belly expands. Exhaling. Now breathing through the mouth so you can hear the breath. Again, breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. This time, let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Just kind of notice what's going on with the shoulders today. Exhale, arms down. Again, keeping it between easing out to doing what you can today and exhaling. What I love about this, you can be in your street clothes, taking a chair yoga class. You can have your shoes on. You can be barefoot. It's whatever you need to do today. Today I'm barefoot, so it's a little bit different than normal. Breathing in and breathing out. It'll be about 40 minutes for our class today. Beautiful. And leave one arm up, bring one hand back behind you, either be on your wrist or fist. Squeeze that shoulder towards your mid-back. As you breathe in, the belly's going to expand. Here we go. Reach up a little bit more. As you exhale, contract the belly button towards the spine and lean over, stretching that side body. Beautiful. Breathe in. Bring it back. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. So we're engaging the core as we breathe in. Belly is soft. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Side lateral flexion. Inhaling. Your elbow may be a little bit more bent. That's okay too. And then let's float it down as we exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Now the other arm stays up. The other hand sneaks behind you. Squeeze that shoulder towards the mid-back. Again, you could be on that wrist or fist. Here we go. Inhaling, reaching up a little bit more further towards the sky. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Lean over. Inhale, back on up. Exhale, lean over. So one of the things you need to do is notice, how does this side feel versus the other? Does it feel a little bit different? Does it feel the same? More constricted, a little bit more flexible? Just things to ask yourself. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Inhale, back on up. One more time. Exhale. Inhaling back on up. Exhale, float it down. Beautiful. Next will be our cat and cow. So I'm going to turn sideways, but just know you can still face me, okay? So I'm going to turn towards the candles. And I have my ankles kind of in alignment with my knees. Very good. My back nice and tall. Now, of course, we got a natural curve that happens with our spine, right? So just let's shrug our shoulders up towards our ears and then back behind you. Ooh, that feels nice. Do that again. Shrug them up. It's kind of like a nice, slow shoulder roll. All right, beautiful. So cat and cow. So normally our arms are like hugged into the side of the body. We're going to shift our arms forward a little bit. Again, be nice and tall. As we breathe in, let's draw our hands towards our armpits. So here we go. Inhaling, hinging forward. Now with my elbows back behind me, squeezing those shoulders, but if I shift forward, you can see that I'm hinged, not rounded towards the floor. Now we're exhaling, pushing it away, little curve in the spine. That's our cat pose. And again, inhale, come, draw yourself forward, folding forward. Big breath here. Exhale, push it away. And again, inhale, come forward. Exhale, push it away. Draw that belly button towards the spine as you hollow out the belly as you curve. And then inhaling, come forward. Last one. Exhale, push it away. Inhaling, coming forward, and release the hands. All right, beautiful. Next is our seated twist. So we're doing spinal movements to keep that spine nice and healthy, all right? So this one we'll do without the strap, and the second time we do it, we'll do it with the strap. Again, if you don't have this strap, you'll do exactly what we're doing right now. So we're gonna do those little goalpost arms here. All right, now again, I'm looking at my feet, make sure they're parallel. My ankles kind of in alignment with my knees, very good. Now, if this is a little bit more comfortable to be more in towards the ribs, that works too, okay? So you can kind of feel the squeeze of the shoulders when you draw the elbows more towards the ribs. But I invite you to lift them up as best you can, whatever you can do today, okay? All right, so first, belly big as we breathe in. Press into the floor. Exhale, turn towards the candles. Breathe in, stay here. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, back to the center. Inhaling, stay here. Press into that floor. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, back to heart center. And release. All right, so you can choose to do the same thing that we just did, or if you got that strap, grab that strap. So what helps this, if you're grabbing a strap, when we have the arms up, we're clasping the hands with that strap, and we're pulling the arms opposite sides of the room. So we create lots of dynamic tension in the upper body, and then we're pressing firmly into the floor with our feet for the dynamic tension in the lower body. So here we go. We're going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it a little bit more high so don't cover my eyeballs here. All right, so let's breathe in. Press into the floor. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Pull those arms opposite directions and turn towards those candles. And again, inhaling. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, back to the center. Press into the floor. Here we go. Breathe in. Ooh, good breath there. Exhale, push into the floor, turn to the other side. Pull those arms opposite directions. Beautiful. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale, back to heart center. And release. All right, so next is our passive hamstring stretch. So you can do this one of two ways, with the strap or without. So first I'll show it without the strap. So I'm going to shift that strap over to the other leg up, and I'm going to lift that leg up and kind of shake it out, wiggle it out, toes towards me. So I feel a little, contraction of the calf going on there. Sometimes a little business in the hip. Depends what's going on with your body too, okay? So this may be just perfectly normal. You may not feel anything. So to make this more dynamic, we're going to push into the other foot, the one that's grounded to the floor, toes towards you, sitting up nice and tall. Now you can stay here, or I invite you once again to hinge a little forward. Maybe hands on that thigh. Again, your chest is lifted so you're not rounding towards the floor. Try your best to be nice and elongated, lengthened. All right. Now, if there's stuff going on in the back of the knee, you can always bend that knee a little bit, kind of relieve things that are going on if there's some issues there. But you're still doing toes towards you, heel flexed. Yeah? All right, so and don't forget, press into the other leg. Okay, so dynamic tension happening here. When you stimulate the bones, stimulate the muscles, it stimulates the bones, so it builds your bones. So yay. Better joint mobility, activating all those ligaments and muscles is beautiful. So you can lower blood pressure, again, have better joint mobility, build bones, improve circulation, ease back pain, gain flexibility, lessen your stress, and sometimes you can actually sleep better the days that you do yoga. All right, I'm going to release from that. Very good. If there's some spiciness going on, you can kind of put a little warmth to a hip joint if you like. So this is my spicy side, so I'm always doing this, okay? All right, so the other side I'm going to show with the strap. If you've done the yoga with me before, you know that you can already be doing this stuff with or without the strap. So what I'm going to do, instead of just flinging my leg out there, I'm going to kind of walk it out there with the strap, being nice and tall. Now that other foot press into the floor, and then I'm going to hang on to the strap, be tall as I hinge forward. Woo! And again, notice if there's spice. Now what you can do when you feel kind of spiciness in a pose, like intense activation of the muscles, you can return your attention to the breath and sometimes endure the pose a little bit easier. Sometimes when you redirect attention, it's not as spicy. Sometimes that doesn't work at all. And again, if you need to or want to, you can bend that knee, still invite the toes towards you, hinging forward, lengthening from the belly button up to that collarbone. Again, we're trying to really elongate the spine as we do these yoga poses today. So that's good stuff. Good tall posture poses. Now you may be feeling this in your back. Yeah, oh yeah. Lots of stuff going on, even in a passive hamstring contraction. All right, and that's enough. Bend that knee, bring it in. All right, so next is the slide and air pose. So this gets into the musculature all around that hip. So I'm on carpet. So basically, you can either take your hand underneath and slide your leg out and in, or grab the strap with both hands or one hand and bring that leg out and in. Now the other foot, press into the floor. That's going to really have you be grounded to where you're stable. And you can hang on to the chair if you're doing this just with one set of hands. Again, this is your movement where you go in and out of the vehicle. We do this one, pretty often. So if you notice spiciness going on when you get in and out of the car, so that's probably something you want to address, yeah? You maybe want to strengthen the glute muscles. All right, so we're going to add some air to it. So what does that mean? It's like there's a golf ball or a little playground ball here, and you're going to hop over. So this is actually probably the movement that you do when you step in and out of the car. Now I'm going to hang on to that chair as I press firmly into the floor with my other leg. So again, I'm activating, being nice and stable, and getting some good stuff going on here with my hip flexor. Woo, you all feel that? Oh yeah, let's do one more. Whew, and release. Guess what? Little TLC, doesn't hurt nobody right there. Okay, I'm going to switch it over into the other foot. All right, now to the leg that I just worked with, I'm going to press into the floor. I feel my quadricep activating, contracting, feel my calf contracting, bottom of the foot firm into the yoga mat. Oh, well, okay, carpet. Let's take it out to the side. Oh, I'm going to hang on to, press into that grounded leg, yeah? Woo, breathing in and out. All right, beautiful. Now we're going to lift it up, whoo, and down. Very good. Again, do what you can. Just notice, again, how does this feel different than the other side? Is there a difference? Is there more spice, less spice? Is there some little issues going on with your tissues? Again, lots of stuff that we can be figuring out here. I was trying to think what else. Let's see, we can increase our strength with a yoga practice, a regular yoga practice. Just all sorts of things that you can do. I'll link down below the article about the 101 conditions helped by doing a regular yoga practice. It's written by Dr. Timothy McCall. So I'm very excited to share that with you, but look for that down in the links, okay? One more. Whew. And release. All right, beautiful. I'm going to take the strap, go ahead and put it on the back of the chair. We'll may use that later on, then again, maybe not. All right, so next is our thing to kind of help ease back pain. It's called the piriformis bounce and pigeon pose. So this is probably more effective lying on your back, but today it's chair yoga, so we're going to do the chair version of this pose. So basically, you're going to take a leg out to the side and just kind of lift that leg and let it bounce. So this is one version of the pose that you can do. Now, if it's available, what I invite you to do is to take that leg and bring it on top of the other thigh. Now, that may be mission impossible. Just know that. So my knee is more towards my chest, and basically what I'm going to do is let it drop. So the piriformis is one of those muscles that if there's issues with your sciatica, you have that shooty pain down the leg, numbness, tingling in the foot, toes, calves, side of the leg, low back. Sometimes that nerve is pinched, and when nerves get pinched, they get cranky. So it could be because of the piriformis, or maybe your nerve is going through the pelvic notch. A whole bunch of different ways that can go through the body, and it's different on each person, yeah? All right, so we're, again, warming up the muscles before we strengthen them. All right, so now to strengthen them, we're going to sit up nice and tall, toes towards your knee. This may be all you need, okay? Now, if you're down here on the floor, it's heel flex, knee out to the side, grab the back of the chair, and hinge forward. Now, if you're here on top of the leg, it's going to be, you can grab the seat of the chair, or you do top of the ankle and the knee, elbows out, and hinge forward. Now, usually, ooh, my voice went up. Usually there's spice going on here. So again, let's do that breath, redirection of the breath. Here we go, breathe in. Now remember, we're elongating, we're hinging, we're not doing the roundy business, we're hinging. Beautiful, exhale. And again, breathe in. If you need to back off, just know it's always okay to back off of a pose, okay? Yes. So usually people feel lots of spice in this one. Even though we warmed up that muscle with the slide and air and with the piriformis bounce, whoo, you're gonna feel stuff in this one. This one's the spicy pose. And release. Wow. Okay, kind of do heels up and down, toes curling. Even if you have your shoes on, heels up, toes up, heels up, toes up. Feet out to the side and center, side and center. Whew. Okay, just get some foot motion, maybe finger motion going on here. All right, we got to do the other side. So here we go. You can be here and do your bounce. And again, I have students that one, for whatever reasons, they're able to do one leg up here on the thigh, but the other one is down here on the floor. That's okay. They're taking care of their bodies. They're honoring the bodies. That's what I love about that. All right, and again, if you're going to be up here, this one, my knee is more towards my chest. I'm super tight on this side, so my bounce is a little bit different on this side. And again, be tall. Try not to lose your spine. I always lose mine, so I figure y'all are losing yours, yeah? Woo! All right, now we're going to go into the pigeon pose. Sitting up nice and tall, elbows out, hinge forward. Now, an alternative way is to grab the back of the chair and squeeze those shoulders and hinge forward. Depends how much you can come forward. Sometimes it's just like a little inch. Sometimes you can go 4 inches. Again, toes towards your knee, so you activate all the ligaments in the knee. Everything's nice and lined up. And again, if you're here on the floor, it's leg out to the side, heel flex, toes towards you. It's not as spicy here on the floor as it is up here on the thigh. Make sure your ankle is not knobbing your thigh, because that doesn't feel good. All right, breathe in, breathe out. Again, inhaling through the nose, belly soft. Exhaling. One more good breath right here. Breathing in, breathing out, and release. Yay. Good. Let's just kind of do wacky legs here. You can do one at a time, then the other. Little hip warming up here. All right. Next is warrior one pose. So we're going to face our hips towards the short end or the side end of the chair. Now, if you got one of those chairs with arms, you may have to go at an angle instead, okay? Just kind of know that. But I'm going to take my body, I'm pointed towards the candles here, and this leg that's closest to me, I'm going to shift my behind off a little bit and bring that leg either in front of the chair or scooch it back a little bit. And I'm getting my bottom kind of comfortable on the chair. All right, I'm pressing vigorously into that heel, vigorously into the toes. So all this side of the body is getting nice and activated. If you want more, you would shift a little bit more. Sometimes the hip grabs you though, so be cautious. So I'm going to turn my chest now towards the side chair. Now, to make this a little bit more of a back bend, you would raise an arm up, maybe both, or you can hang onto the chair and just raise one, okay? Breathe in, press into those feet. Activation of that lower body, dynamic tension happening here. Building bones, engaging the muscles. One more breath if we can. Then I'm going to lean a little forward, drag that leg next to the other leg, and shift over to the other side. All right. Heart rate, you may notice, kind of went up a little bit. So when we do back bends, because there is a little back bend element to this pose, your heart rate will pick up. All right. Let's take that other leg back. Again, kind of notice, how does this side feel versus the other? Get yourself nice and situated. Press into that heel, press into those toes. Arm goes up, arms go up. Again, you can do what's best for you today. You can have the hand on the hip if you like. Breathe in. Should be feeling dynamic tension in the lower body. Exhaling. And again, inhaling And exhaling. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And release. Lean a little forward and come forward. All right. So we just did warrior one. Next is warrior two. Let me show you that seated on the chair. So I'm kind of scooching over towards the candle side of the room. And I'm going to take my leg out to the side. This is called letter L legs. Now my body naturally turns to the center. So what I invite you to do is turn your torso towards me. So I got to really kind of bring that leg out, press into those heels, arms out into a letter T. So what we'll be doing is inhaling, floating the arms down, pressing vigorously into the feet, exhaling, arms up. Now, stay here or take a break. Let's do the standing version if you're going to be standing today. We're using that chair though for our yoga practice. I love it. I'm going to scoot this chair forward a little bit. My feet are nice and wide for warrior two. Going to turn toes towards the candles because we started on that side on the floor. Bend that knee. I'm going to heel toe out, firm feet onto the ground. And again, be like really firm with the feet on the ground. So it may be barefoot, it may be nice firm shoes into the floor. Hang on to that chair if you like. Arms swoop up into that letter T. I'm going to see my knee aligned with my foot. Yep, sure is. So I'm going to turn my chin, and you turn your chin if you're seated, towards the candles. And we're going to inhale, press into the floor, float those arms, straighten that leg. If you're standing, exhale, bend that knee. Float those arms up. Inhaling and exhaling. Press vigorously into the floor as if there's a wrinkle in your ground. You're trying to smooth out that wrinkle. Inhale, float. Exhale, stay in the pose. Now really your arms opposite ends of the room. Press firmly, firmly, firmly. From here, we're going to take the palm up towards the candles and reach a little forward, even if you're seated, and bring that arm towards the sky. Now you can hang onto the chair, hand on the hip, hand on the side of the chair, hand down the leg. Press firmly again into the floor, whether you're seated or standing. So we have all that good dynamic tension. Float that arm down, lift that heel, pivot that foot, walk it in. Now we're going to go over to the other side. So if you're seated, let's go ahead and take that leg out to the other side. Bring it to the center, take it out to the other side. Again, we naturally turn to the center, right? So we're going to turn towards the front of the room, and I'm going to walk my feet out a little bit. Press firmly into the feet, arms out into a letter T. Let's do the other side if you're standing. Feet nice and wide. Here we go. Turn the foot, bend the knee, arms out into a letter T. Very nice. Again, you can always hang on to the chair. Just know that. Let's turn that chin, check your toe, knee alignment. Very good. Nice tall up and down here. Very good. So here we go. Inhaling, straighten that leg. And float those arms down. Exhale, bend that knee. Press firmly into the floor. Here we go. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Once again, inhaling and exhaling. Here we go. Stay in the pose. Stay in the pose. Press firmly into the floor. Let's do that reverse warrior. Palm up, reach a little forward, scoop the hand in the sky, hand on the hip, hand down the leg, on the chair. You get to choose here. Press firmly into the ground, whichever pose you're doing. Beautiful. Woo! And float that arm down, straighten that leg, pivot that foot, walk it in. So next is our tree pose. Yay, tree pose. So if you're seated today, what you'll be doing is coming out to the edge of your chair, pressing firmly into your grounded foot, and bring that leg out to the side, pressing that foot firmly into the instep. And then we'll be really lengthening the body towards the sky. Now, for those of us standing in this pose, we'll step out to the side, turn the foot. So we got one knee one direction, just like we're here on the floor, one knee the other direction. We're going to walk that foot in. Now you can be here grounded to the instep, or maybe the calf, or maybe the inner thigh. Just not on the knee joint, okay? And again, we got to invite tall posture. So let's be tall, tall, tall. Arms circle up or raise up. And notice the dance of the foot if you're standing. And breathing in, breathing out. Again, inhaling and exhaling. One more breath. Here we go. Breathing in and breathing out. Now again, you can always hang on to the chair. Let's do the other side. So switch it on the other side. If you're seated, other leg out to the side. If you're standing, you're stepping out, turning that foot, being tall here. whether your leg is into the calf, on toes on the ground, or into that inner thigh. And I'm going to have this one on the calf. So I notice one side, this side is a little bit different for me than the other. Raise an arm up, and I'm hanging on to the chair this time because I got the dance of the foot happening. So you may have, issues because maybe you sprained an ankle or broke a toe when you were younger. So, there may be differences one side versus the other. Beautiful. Breathing in, being tall, exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in and out. Beautiful. All right. Next is chair pose. So that's the one we do for keeping our independence. Yay. So when you can easily get up and off the toilet, raise up, off, and up and down off the chair without plopping down, that's very beneficial for keeping your independence. So that's really good. So I'm going to place my calves kind of like right up against the back of the chair. If you're seated, I'll show that a little bit in just a bit. So feet parallel, chairs are parallel, okay. Then I'm going to bend my knees and just hover. Now if you're seated, what you're going to do is bring those heels right underneath your chair and press into your heels and lift. And then you can hang on to the chair and still get work done. If you're doing the standing version, maybe you can do hands to heart center. Maybe you want fingertips just kind of right there, just so you know it's right there in case you need it. So feel the strength happening in that lower body. And lower. Did y'all hold your breath when you did that? Because I tend to hold my breath when I'm in chair pose. We're going to do that again. We're going to try to do 3 breaths while we are in the chair pose. Again, to strengthen the glutes, the hamstrings, the quadriceps, the calves, lots of stuff. You do chair pose. That's a great pose. All right, press into the heels, lift up, breathing in, breathing out. Again, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, breathe in and out and release. Woo, beautiful, beautiful, love it. All right, so let's come away from the back of the chair once again. Let's bring the arms out into a letter T. Do palms forward, palms up. You should be feeling those arms by about now. Palms forward, palms down, palms to the back of the room. Very good. Palms down, palms forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float those arms down. All right. Let's do fingertips underneath the knees and just kind of get that leg to swing a bit. Very good. Notice if there's any like little crunchy things going on. Yeah. And release. So basically I'm going to lift my heel, let it drop. Heel, let it drop. Heel, let it drop. Let's do the other side. Let's lift up and swing. Very good. Again, notice, is this side a little bit easier to do versus the other? Do you tend to go fast or slow better for you? Again, keep it between easy and out. And then put the foot back down and let the heel drop. And then lift up, let it drop, lift up, let it drop. Very good. All right, so from here, I invite you to get a little bit more relaxed. Go ahead and scoot back into your chair. We're going to do our guided relaxation and meditation. And you can actually, cross at the ankles if you like, but I invite you to gaze down at the floor or close your eyes. I'll be reading our meditation script, so I'm keeping my eyes open, looking out for y'all. So let me get that script there. Again, this is one of the things that puts you in between being asleep and awake. It's called the hypnagogic state. Look that up. So it's supposed to help enhance your sleeping. So hopefully the days that you do yoga, your sleep is a little bit better. So wherever you are, let's get comfortable. Placing your feet on the earth. If you're sitting in a chair, just kind of get a little bit more comfortable sitting on our seat here. Feel free to lean back against the chair, the back of the chair, and begin to notice your feet touching the earth. Notice your legs. Notice the parts of the body connected to the chair. Notice your arms, hands, and fingers. And notice your shoulders and notice the head, the top of the head. And bring awareness to the face, relaxing the muscles of the face. Maybe opening the mouth slightly to release any tension held in that jaw. Now we'll move from body scanning into breathing. Let's just start to bring attention to the breath. Just notice that you are breathing, and then we'll start to manipulate the breath a little by allowing the inhale to get a little bit longer And then the exhale to get a little bit longer. Again, breathing in, make that inhale longer. And then exhaling. You might notice your heart beating while we're breathing. You're allowing your breath to slow down, which in turn allows your heart rate to slow down. So again, breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. Let's move into the opposites. Let's allow your body to feel very heavy, sinking down into the earth or down into that chair. Your arms and legs are heavy. Your back is heavy. The chin dropping towards your chest, heavy. And then let's allow your body to feel very light, as though you could float up from your seat, floating up towards the sky. Light arms, light legs, light body. From there, let's move into witnessing our thoughts. They'll start to become aware of our thoughts. Take a moment just to observe any thoughts that might be coming into the mind. Maybe you're observing them like at the movies. There's this big screen on the back of your eyelids. Just notice the thoughts, the shapes that are running across the screen. Try not to engage with them. Just notice. Just watch. Continuing to breathe nice and slow, watching whatever comes. And then from witnessing our thoughts, let's move into opposite sensations or emotions. We'll take a moment just to check in with our emotions. Notice if there's any emotion present for you at the moment, right now. And you could possibly be emotionally neutral. So we're going to work with despair and hope. So let's remember a time in your life when you felt hopelessness and despair. Be sure to remember that you are not experiencing these feelings at this time, just remembering them. Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Is there a feeling of constriction around your heart, around your abdomen? Remember a feeling of hopelessness. Now, let's move that into the opposite emotion. Let's experience the opposite, a feeling of hope. Allow your heart to open and to expand to the possibilities of good outcomes, a feeling of support and love from those around you. Imagine positive outcomes to your stressful situations and bathe in this feeling of hope. Notice your breathing. Again, slow inhale, slow exhale. Then, let's take a moment to recall a very happy time in your life, one of your happiest memories. Recall as many details as possible. Notice who's around you, what's around you, the colors, the shapes, the textures. Notice the sounds, the smells. There might even be a taste. Notice how you feel in this moment in time, your favorite happy memory. Breathing in, breathing out. And then let's take a nice deep breath together as I ring the bell. And slowly exhale out. Coming back into the now, back into the present moment. And exhaling. Beautiful. All right, come away from the back of the chair once again. Coming to the front of the chair, let's inhale, circle sweep arms up. Exhale, arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale, circle sweep arms up. Keep an arm up, the other arm down, reach up, breathe in. Press into the floor, exhale, lean over. Inhale back on up, exhale down. Let's do those arms again, breathing in. And keep that arm up, exhale, lean over. Inhale back on up and down. Let's do those arms up into those little cactus arms. Inhaling, stay here. Exhale, turn towards the candles, press into the floor. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, back to heart center. Inhaling, stay here, press into those feet. Exhale, turn. Inhale, stay here. Woo, exhale, back to heart center and float those arms down. Beautiful. All right. Let's do our cat-cow once again. Shift those elbows forward, be nice and tall. Inhaling, coming forward, hinge forward. Squeeze those shoulders. Exhale, push it away. Belly button towards the spine. Woo. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, push it away. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, coming forward, and release. All right, so I invite you to do a little gratitude practice. You can either have hands to heart center or place one hand on the heart and the other hand on the other hand. So let's bring in an idea of gratitude, something that you're grateful for. It could be the clothes you wear, the food that you eat, the place where you lie your head down at night. Maybe it's the toilet paper that you have. Maybe it's the God you worship. Maybe it's the family that you love, the friends that you have. But so something that you have a little attitude of gratitude. Yeah? All right. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding and that little attitude of gratitude and pass it on. So at the end of the yoga class, we usually say namaste or peace be with you. So whatever resonates with you. Once again, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today for your chair yoga. We'll see you next week. Bye.